Hi everyone, welcome to Bear Becoming. This is Aarushi, and today we are going to talk about what is self-awareness, how does it help us navigate our lives better, what are its shadow sides, and how we can develop it because we are not necessarily always born with it, right? So that is something we are going to talk about. But before we get into the video, please make sure to subscribe and hit all the buttons and follow me across social media because here I talk about things which we are never taught in school but are absolutely essential for our more fulfilling and better life. Okay, so before we talk about what actually self awareness is, let's understand how we function as humans. We living beings are designed to survive. Okay, so there is a part that is called amygdala in our brain. Its main function is to keep us alive, to react instinctively as soon as it feels any danger or anything. But its function is so basic that it does not understand the nuances of danger, nuances of different emotions, situations, etc. Right? So it doesn't understand the difference between, oh, my boss shouted at me, or a bear is following me to kill me. Right? So it doesn't understand and it reacts the same way. And here, our prefrontal cortex, our more logical brain, comes into the picture where it helps us understand, okay, is it even a real danger, logics, rationality, etc. Okay, so when we are not that self aware, we live in an autopilot mode. Okay, so someone shouted at me, I felt danger, I felt anger, I reacted. Okay, and then this autopilot basically creates different loops. We keep functioning on there is a trigger, there is an emotion, there is a reaction. And that's how we do not understand how to navigate it in a better way, how to strengthen our relationships, how to strengthen our own relationships, what triggers us, what is actually danger, what is not, etc., 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 right? And this leads us to live life in those same emotional mental loops, same autopilot, same survival based instincts. But what differs us as humans is that we have ability to think about our thinking, our consciousness, reflection, right? So that's where self-awareness comes into the picture. Your ability to understand your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own understandings, feelings, how you as a person, as an ecosystem functions. So for example, your trigger is that every time someone shouts at you in a loud voice, you feel danger, right? And now without self-awareness, what your amygdala will do, it will either fight, flight, or freeze, right? But with self-awareness, what happens is we develop the ability to pause and think and understand and process right in the moment. Correct? Okay, this is something that triggers me, but is it really a danger? It could be just loud music in the concert. It is not even a real danger. And that's how you process it, understand it, and change your reaction or response over the period of time. Now, how to develop self-awareness? Okay, so there is like few foundations of it. Number one is detachment, because if you are too attached with the sense of self, the ego, what you do is, even if you learn to understand and process your feeling and question it, you will question it from a place of attachment, which will bring you to assumptions, opinions, and judgments about yourself. And then what you will do, it won't be objective. You will keep validating or invalidating the same opinions and assumptions you have about yourself. So for example, you think that, okay, I am an angry person, so now your mind will find predictability in situations and confirmation that, okay, every time you think, you react, you confirm that I am an angry person, right? So that's how, if there is no detachment, you, even if you process your emotions or understand your feelings and processes, you will use those processing to create judgments about you, right? So first is detachment. Second is curiosity. So instead of, I am an angry person, once we get detachment, we can be really curious like child. Okay, if this made me angry, what does it tell about me? Does it mean I care about this? Does it mean I am passionate about it? That curious childlike energy where you actually like, what am I trying to do here? So this helps you ask questions, understand the deeper layering of your autopilot processes. It helps you go to the nuances and root cause of your autopilot reactions. So you reach to the deeper level of it. Okay. So for example, oh, somebody shouted at me and I fought back. Now what does it tell about me? That loud noises are something that triggers me. Why it triggers me? Does it happen? It helps you to build more relations, to go to the root cause so that we can see it from there and we can solve it. So curiosity basically helps you question and go to the root causes of things, understand the schema, the structural, the thin layer of things. Third, metacognition. So in metacognition, what we practice is that we detach ourselves from our own self and we see us as a character, as a third person's POV. That okay, I am not this person. This is a character, and I'm somewhere this, looking at this character. So, okay, what this character is trying to do? What does it tell about this character? So this helps you to first detach as well, because when you go to a third person's POV, you are already detaching yourself from this character. You're not this character, right? So you're learning about this character, asking questions, being curious about the character, right? Another thing is reflection. So it takes time to do all of these things and develop self awareness in real time. That okay, I got a trigger, some physiological state happened in my body, I had an emotion and reaction. So before that reaction, it takes time to develop it real time and understand and pause before the reactions, right? So what helps till you create that in real time is reflection, going back to different scenarios, journal it. Okay, this time a year back maybe I reflected this and this disturbed me. Now what does it tell about me? How was I feeling? What were my feelings? What were my thoughts? What were my actions, right? So that's how you reflect on the previous thoughts and emotions to understand yourself better, right? To recognize your triggers better, to recognize how you function in an autopilot mode, because it takes time to break that autopilot and actually be aware in real time. Okay, I'll give you an example that you went to your best friend's home and you ring the bell, and it's been 20 minutes, nobody showed up, and you're like, I am ringing the bell, मैं बजा रही हूँ bell, कोई आ क्यों नहीं रहा है? So here is that you weren't aware that the doorbell is not working. So you call your friend and they are like, okay, let me open the door. So this is where you weren't aware of the fact that the doorbell is not working, right? Now, next time you will come to the same friend's place, your first instinct would be you will ring the doorbell, and you will like after 5 minutes you'll realize, oh, they told me that the doorbell doesn't work. So now you will call them, hi, please open the door. And by the time third time, fourth time, fifth time, your awareness time would reduce. Okay, so maybe the first time you did not know, the second time you got to know after 5 minutes, you realized, oh, the doorbell doesn't work. Then you will realize in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and then there will come a time where you will be like, you will call your friend before reaching, like 2 minutes before reaching, that hey, I'm reaching, can you like open the door because your doorbell doesn't work, right? That's where your real time awareness comes into the picture. But it took time, right? So in that time, our our goal is not to right away jump into that real time awareness and processing and everything, but if we are able to even have pauses and reduce the time until we realize in the moment, that is a progress. Once it's like that, self awareness is like that knowledge that you fit in, like all the reflection and everything, that the work you do, it actually stores in your memory, it stores in your brain, but it takes its own time to come into the practice. So if you think that, okay, I am doing the reflection, I am trying to understand myself, I'm trying to recognize, but why am I unable to get it in real time? This is was one of my major question in my 4 years of therapy, that okay, I know everything, I know what triggers me, I know this, I know that, but why does it not occur to me at the time of my trigger, right? And why it doesn't? Because when you are triggered, when there is a situation, your prefrontal cortex is hijacked, right? There is a amygdala hijack happens, where your amygdala takes over to make you survive the incidents, right? To make you survive. So that's okay, we can gradually reduce that time. So that's all about what is self awareness, how does it help you navigate, how you develop in real time. And there are a lot of benefits of it. So when you are aware, you make more conscious decisions, you make more conscious choices which are more aligned to you, right? So let's say when you are navigating your relationships and you did not know that, okay, I do not like somebody who talks to me in a loud voice, but until you know this, you were attracting any kind of people and then getting triggered, oh, this person triggers me. There are a lot of real time benefits of it, right? That let's say you are not aware that, okay, that it triggers me when somebody talks to me in a loud voice, and every time somebody used to talk to you in loud voice, you would just react out of nowhere. But with self awareness, you know that, okay, this is something that triggers me. Now I'm going to navigate it, I am going to talk about it in my relationships to make it more conscious and more aligned towards me, to feel more fulfilled, right? And that's how you even choose your career choices in life, when you know that, okay, these are my strengths, these are my maybe a point of improvement, so that's how I can choose things that are more aligned. So for example, I am aware of the fact that I am emotionally intelligent, I recognize emotions, I process them real quick, so this helps me in the kind of career I choose for myself, right? So that's how you make better decisions, you make better relationships. Another thing that I really want to talk about is the shadow side of self awareness. Yes. So, the shadow side of self awareness is one, when we tend to analyze and know things a lot about ourselves, it gives a sense of fulfillment already. Okay, that, oh, I know this. Now what it makes you do is, it sometimes, or maybe not more than sometimes, it often replaces your actions with knowing. Okay, so this has happened to me, that I have been someone who is वेरी इनेटली सेल्फ अवेयर, सेल्फ ऑडिटिंग, तो होता क्या था कि मैं अपनी नोइंग को एक्शन समझ बैठती थी, राइट? तो जैसे मुझे पता है कि मुझे ये चीज़ों से ट्रिगर होता है और मुझे एंगर आता है, तो rather than actually acting upon and regulating that emotions, I was thinking that, okay, knowing is enough, right? So if you stay more than required time in just knowing, it will hamper your life, because no matter how much you know, if you're not acting upon it, your knowing is to dust, right? What it does is, rather it does, that brings me to the second point, that knowing does not just help, it makes things heavier, it makes things more nuanced, because now you understand the gravity of things, you see things on a deeper lens. So any small thing would create more deep feelings, it would create deeper nuances, deeper emotions. Okay, so for example, if you're aware that in when something triggers you, you lash out. Okay, so when you weren't aware, you lashed out and you were like, okay, I'm sorry, and you just go about it. But when you're aware of your own triggers and how your self-sabotaging patterns disrupt your relationships, you will not just only feel the guilt of that response, you will also feel the guilt of knowing and yet not taking actions to do it any better, right? So the self awareness actually makes things heavier. It makes your feelings deeper, because now you're not just, feeling guilty or responsible of your actions, but you're also feeling guilty and uh, responsible for knowing what actions to take, right? So that's one thing. That's why self awareness is not a key to replace actions. Self awareness does not replace actions. So, actions are important no matter what. Okay, you can do all the reflections you want, all the analysis you want, but you need to still take actions that are important to create momentum in your life, right? So, that's one thing. Another thing, what self awareness does is that it makes you analyze the things to the level that you forget feeling, right? Because self awareness is thinking, that's the thinking part of it, which is very important, but it does not replace feeling part of it, right? So sometimes when we overanalyze, we overthink, it replaces the feelings part of it. And emotions are something that are your physiological state that you feel in the body, so they are supposed to be regulated within the body, right? So it actually sometimes delays your feeling. And just to tell you, you can delay the feeling, you cannot deny it. It will come to you. Any kind of feelings, any kind of emotions that you delay it by analyzing and being self-aware about it, it will still come to you. So the solution is not having self-awareness and just reacting upon your emotions. Neither it is that using self-awareness to not feel them. The solution is to actually be self-aware real time and also give healthy outlets to complete the cycle of emotions that you feel in your body. One more part, that when you are self-aware, you might feel a sense of disconnect from the outer world, because you feel like, oh, this is too shallow, this is too humanely, I don't feel aligned, it does not, you know it becomes you keep chasing alignment a lot, that okay, this doesn't align with me. So for example, I'll give you my example, that now I am someone who is really not great with small talks, or having shallow conversations, etc. But sometimes it is required. Sometimes you really need to. You do not have to open all the jars of your deep level of reflections and things in your daily life, right? So sometimes it does make you feel disconnected from it. And again, that gradually comes to make that balance between having that self awareness, having that outlet, but also managing these human level actions and connections. I think that's all about what is self awareness, or how do you develop it, how it helps us create better, fulfilling life for ourselves, and what might be the shadow sides of it that we need to watch out. That's from my side. You let me know your own thoughts, your own reflections in the comments below. And yeah, I am open to conversation. I might make more parts of it to add on to more reflections to it. Because, see, the good part about reflection, self awareness, and all these thinking part, that it upgrades every time. It upgrades, it comes, new information comes, and it's all exciting. So, I'm gonna share with you all. You also share your opinions, you also share your reflections, your thoughts, your thinking. Till then, thank you so much for watching. Bye, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.